Good morning, my fellow Africans and the world at large. This is Emmanuel Mensah once again coming into your home and your minds with a message of empowerment and enlightenment all the way from Ontario, Canada. Today is Friday, the 25th of March, the year 2022. And as the Bible says, this is the day the Lord has made, and we should be glad and rejoice in it. So I take this opportunity to invite the whole world, everyone, anyone listening to me, to join me today to rejoice and to give thanks to God for the blessings and for the gift of life that He has granted unto us. Today, I am going to continue on the topic I introduced yesterday, and that is thoughts are things. Thoughts are things. There is no one in this world that is not looking for something. We use those things to make ourselves happy, to make ourselves comfortable. But the big question that we have to ask ourselves and begin to work with is, where does these things come from? And yesterday, as I explained, there is nothing on this earth that someone has created without a plan behind it. So everything that we see comes from people. It comes from within. And whatever is in other person is in you too, if only you make your mind ready. So today, we are going to continue with this on this topic. Thoughts are the starting point of creation. And as the images and the likeness of God, we are always in the creation mode. We are ever, always creating. There is no day, there is no time that you are not creating. Whatever thoughts that you are brooding, you are dwelling on upon, you are cooking your life of today or the weeks and the months to come. Whatever life that you are living in today, whatever you are experiencing, are just the objectification, the manifestation of your past thoughts. So nothing comes into a human being's life without a thought. And that is why the British philosopher James Allen gave us that you are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts will take you. The prisoner we find in the prison today went there by his own thoughts. The one that is living in his mansion also is there because of his own thoughts. So the thoughts that we generate is the driving force, is the only thing that moves us. And when we understand our thoughts and how to apply these thoughts, how to be selective, and how to use this good thing that God has given to us to create our lives, we will have our lives in a beautiful and a wonderful way. We will create a life that is more befitting and enjoying than this sour and poor, sad life that we have been creating all these years or centuries. So today, I'm going to use two characters in the Bible to explain and to present my message. Thoughts are things, be it anything that you can think of. So in the Bible, we have a story about two brothers. They were born as twins. And that is the sons of Isaac and Rebekah. The Bible tells us that Jacob and Esau were born as twins to Isaac and Rebekah. And according to the story in the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 19 to 34, it's a very interesting story. And I was brought up as in the church. Actually, I became an officer in the church. So the Bible is something that I have read and I know it very well. I still read the Bible. And I still consider myself as someone who believes in the Bible. I believe in the Bible from end to end. But I see the Bible as a metaphysical book than more of a spiritual book that we've used. So, according to the Bible, these two brothers, they grew up, and one day the older brother went out on his errands, and when he returned home, it could be on a hot day. The younger brother was in the kitchen preparing food, and his hunger attracted this food. So he went to the brother. Esau went to the brother Jacob. Said, "Hey, my brother, I'm hungry. So can I have some of your food to quench my hunger?" And the answer from the younger brother was, "I will give you this food on only one condition. And the condition is that you will surrender your birthright. You are the oldest, but today, as soon as I give you this food, you are no more the older brother. I take your birthright." And this is where the thought comes in. Esau, being controlled by his hunger, went straight away and gave a lecture. He gave his brother a lecture. After all, you can take it. What am I going to do with the birthright? After all, I am old. We are growing old. Very soon I will die. And this thing, who cares? But I need to take care of myself so that I can live more. So you can take the birthright. You give me the food. And lo and behold, he handed over his birthright to his younger brother. And by the arrangement, since that day, he became the youngest, or the younger, and the younger became the oldest. And that is the story. So if you look at these two characters, one believes and knows the meaning of intangible things, and one did not. So he only dwell, or he placed his trust in physical things. And as a matter of fact, hunger, you can actually manage hunger for some time. After all, we do fasting. So Esau could have actually thought a little bit that, no, I was born as the oldest, and never will I surrender my birthright. But unfortunately, he went that way. And that these two characters represent every one of us. We are born equal. All of us are born equal, but we will never be the same because of this scenario that we presented. We are every day confronted by difficulties and challenges. And the definition, the thought we will cast upon our difficulties and challenges will place us in the category of Esau or Jacob. Jacob, as a matter of fact, was not cooking for nothing. He was also hungry too. So he was always solving his problem. He wasn't looking for someone to solve his problem for him. But he got up volitionally and he was preparing his food. It doesn't matter whether Esau wasn't at home. But the fact is that Esau never thought of him making an effort to quench his own anger by his own effort. So he gave up his birthright. And it is the same thing with every one of us. You fall into difficulty, you fall into a challenge. And the first thing you sit down and think of, this thing is too big, I cannot. And then you think that someone is bigger and higher than you. So you get up and call to that person and you ask the person to help you. The person comes in. It is the same mind that you have that the person also has. The same brain, but he uses his mind and his brain to solve the problem. Go deep into himself and connect to his inner powers. Use his powers to solve that problem for you. But as soon as that person helps you or solve that problem for you, it is no more your response. It is no more your solution. It becomes a solution. So you, the one that has been saved, you are more or less the person that has been saved. And if there is any praise, it is the person that has saved you that will be praised. And in that case, you sold your birthright to that person. The only birthright, the divine birthright of every human being on earth here, is the ability to use your mind to liberate yourself. The only birthright, the divine birthright we have, is your ability to use your mind to think, to make choices, and to generate solutions to your problems. The moment you fail to do this, and other people comes in to do that for you, you are Esau who has sold his birthright to his younger brother. And that is the truth. And this truth runs through our lives from individual levels to even the racial level. No one is exempted. However you respond to your difficulties, by the exercising of your divine birth, that is using your mind, no one can think for the other. No one can reason for the other. And in the same way, no one is to solve the other's problem. We can team up to form a team, and that is what we call a mastermind, to solve the problem, but not to surrender the problem to someone and then you fold your hands, you put your hands in between your laps waiting for the person to finish. You are more or less someone who has sold his birthright, and you are Esau in that situation. And so it is with families, communities, nations, and races. People who cannot solve their own problems are selling their birthright, their divine birthright, to others. So we will see where this is the picture, and this is the meaning of the story about Esau and Jacob in this part of the Bible. And now when we go down, 2 chapters down, chapter 27, the same brothers appear there too, with a very interesting and fascinating story there too. According to the Bible, or the book of Genesis chapter 27, Isaac became old, and he realized he was getting to the end of his life. And in that household, Isaac's favorite son was Esau. And Rebekah, the wife, favorite son was Jacob. So Isaac called his favorite son Esau and told him that, look, now my days are up. Even I cannot see. So I want you to go into the bush, get an animal, come and prepare my best meal for me, and I will eat and bless you. But while he was giving this information to his son, his wife overheard it. And Jacob, being her favorite son, she quickly went and called Jacob. Hey, this is what your father is saying, but I want you to get his blessings, not your brother. So now, come on, go and get one of the animals there, bring it, and I'll prepare his best food as he likes it, and you will take it to him for him to eat, and he will bless you. So they came out with a plan, and they executed it. And Jacob went, and the father ate the food and blessed him. But just at the point of finishing the blessing, Esau walked in, and the confusion started. So now, the same brother who bought Esau's birthright has now overtaken him to claim the blessings that were supposed to come to him. And this is the scenario that comes with how we use our mind, how we exercise our divine birthrights. And as I've already said, we are both Esau and Jacob in our life situation. Whatever situation that comes before you, you are either Jacob or Esau, depending on the roots or depending on the thoughts you will cast over it. And that is why I am discussing this under the topic, thoughts are things. Everything that you have in your life, and everything that you have in your life are your thoughts, be it tangible or intangible. But the intangible ones are even the most important ones. Look at two people. Food is a physical thing. It serves only your body. But your birthright has something that has to deal with your soul. So Esau only look at the body. People who live and serve their body sells their birthrights. They refuse to think. They fail to think, to use their mind to solve their own problems. So every little pain, they overlook everything and then go for solutions from other people. And soon as someone comes to solve it for you, you become the person's slave. You've sold your birthright. And that is what it is. But when we begin to look at things that has to do with our souls, the intangible things, then we will be able to create within ourselves and it will come back outside as physical. So that is it. So anytime there is a problem or a challenge and you go to someone to solve for you, you become someone that has been saved but it is the one that has saved you that will become a hero. And this is the arrangement in the universe. So since Esau had already sold his birthright to Jacob, it is a law. It is the law that Jacob must claim the blessings. So he went on to claim the blessings. So now we have Rebekah coming into the equation, and Rebekah is the truth that we discover whenever we are going through difficulties. So you will see that you'll be working with someone that you have actually had the same life struggling, and then all of a sudden the person begins to do well. He gets opportunities. Then you begin to think, this person is getting help. This person is using this on that. No, the person might have discovered some principles, some truths, and he's applying them in his life. And since he's within the confines of the law, and he's using his mind, everything has to come to him. And you will continue to toil until you get to the level that he's using his mind. And it is the same thing from our individual level to our societies and communities and to the nations and even our races. Whoever solves their problems becomes the hero, and he is automatically, by law, must be the recipient of any praise, any benefit that comes with it. And so this is how we sell our birthrights. So as Africans, as I've been doing, if you look into this picture and this analysis, you will see that we perfectly fit in the Esau category. The Africans are people who doesn't use their minds to solve their problems. And today, as I'm talking right now, there is a government official from an African country going through, flying, crisscrossing the world, seeking foreigners to come and invest in his or her own nation. Asking for help. We cannot do this. We need this. We need that. We need foreign investment. As if we do not have mind to think. And so long as we go about calling people, we are selling our birthright, our divine birthright, the right to think and to liberate yourself. And in that case, we put ourselves in Esau's category. And the truth about it is that we keep on blaming them. We keep on arguing. We keep on asking for changes that will make sure that we will benefit from our resources. Nothing will happen because it is by law. Just as Jacob, after taking his older brother's birthright, became the recipient of the blessings from Isaac, it is the same way that whoever put his foot on the African soil to invest in our resources, put his mind and his technology on our resources, it is by law that they must receive the benefit. So we will only be people who will receive penuries because we have sold our divine rights to them. So this is a matter of truth, and this is a message of empowerment and liberation. We have given our birthright to other people for quite a long time, and this is the time we have to rise up as people with minds and the ability to create our own realities. We are all born equal, and as I said, but we will never be the same. We will only be the same, enjoying the same life. Having the same benefit only when we use our minds at the same level. And so if we want to rise to become as other people, then it is our obligation, it is our responsibility to develop our minds. Jacob believed and understood what physical things are. Thoughts are the only property that we have. Thoughts are the only physical things that we have, because it is the thought that becomes the physical ones. It is the thought that is objectified or manifests to become the physical one. And we cannot change the order. If you change the order, it's like swimming against the flow of a stream or a river. You hurt yourself. You end up losing your life, or you break the fact is that you hurt yourself. But as soon as we flow in the direction of the river, the current will take us safely, And actually, it will become a sport for us. So this is the time for us to become awakened to the truths that are embedded in the Bible. The Jacob and Esau story, both in chapter 25 and 27 in the book of Genesis, speaks to us directly. Your birthright, the only divine birthright that every human being has got, is the ability to think. You live in your own world, and that world is your mental world. And over there, you are the king, you are the queen, you are the only one that rules there. But as soon as you leave your kingship in your mind and seek help from someone, then you have put yourself under that person, and that person has the right to claim everything that belongs to you. Everything that belongs to you in the universe. So this is the time for us to rise up. This is the time for us to become awakened to this universal truth and the universal principles that the human being is brought on earth for a purpose. And the purpose is that we are supposed to use our mind to interact with everything that we have and turn those things into usable goods to make ourselves comfortable, to make our life beautiful, to make our life glorious to the glory of God. But if we are not responding to that, then automatically we have sold our birthright, and people are ready. There are a lot of people who are ready to come and claim our birthright. And so we can look into our lives after we've driven the Europeans away and we claim independence. Now we have the Chinese who have now entrenched their tentacles all over the African continent, and they are taking everything. The Chinese are not cheating us. They are not exploiting us. But it is the operation of a universal law that thought are things. And since we are not making good thoughts, there must be people somewhere to fill in the gap. Our natural resources are always the attracting factor. And when people come and they see how we are using our minds to turn our resources into usable commodities, we can only talk to them in terms of exchanging our produced commodities, but not raw material. But so long as we are giving the raw materials to them to go and process, we are Esau, who is seeking food, only food to quench his hunger. And we see this whenever it is hard, whenever it is difficult, the African leaders rise to all kind of places, IMF, World Bank, and they put the nations in enslavement. The debts are now over swallowing the Africans because we don't know how to use our minds. We are selling our birthright. You will sit down, a human being made in the image and the likeness. You will sit down and go to your fellow human being. They will make laws and entangles you in debts before they give you money. So before you even come home, you're already in debt. Can't you think? Can't you reason and know that this is not the right way to go? And so when the Bible says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge, the Bible is referring to Africans. Our lack of knowledge, our lack of understanding of some of these universal truths, universal principles and laws is hurting us dearly. And if we don't rise up, if we don't become as receptive to this truth, we will continue to create this poor and sour life, and we'll hand it over to our children as we inherited it from our forefathers. And this is the time. This is the moment. This is the period. We are shifting the paradigm. It is no more about resources. It is not about natural resources. The African leader, the African queen, the African king, the African what has to become awakened to the truth that our natural resources are nothing. But our thoughts that we put behind them, that makes the difference. And until we begin to cultivate our thoughts, our minds, put them in a constructive and positive mode to create and to bring good and wonderful things in our lives, we'll continue to be slaves to other people. Thoughts are things. It's a reality. It's a universal truth. And if we want things to exchange them for things, then we have to begin to make our thoughts right. God has brought us here for a beautiful, a prosperous, and a wonderful life. But if we invent or if we try to go against the purpose for which God has brought us here, that means we are creating a discord. And that is it. The time of adoring, the time of, using our resources to boast and to, seek for support and assistance is over. This is the time the African has to train his own self and train his children how to think, how to go within ourselves and connect to our higher self for ideas, for revelations that will take us to a place that we belong. And that is when Africa, we can declare that we have arrived. But as it is, we are far behind in the human advancement. And this is the time we have to rise up to clear our minds. All superstitions, all taboos, all outdated traditions, all the things that we've been doing for all these generations that we has not brought any improvement in our lives must go. And we are going to embrace the free and liberated African mind generation, where the child is ready, is able to go to bed and think and adore of his ideas, such that by the time he wakes up tomorrow, the following day, he gets solutions to whatever he wants to create. Where the African child will walk and believe that he has a divine right to use his mind to solve any challenge, any problem of any kind. And that is when we can say, truly, freedom has arrived in Africa. The African has discovered himself. The African giant has been opened into the wild, that he's doing what he knows how to do best. And that is when we can say, and that is when we can declare, freedom at last, freedom at last, freedom at last. Now I bring my message to an end. And as I always do, may the overshadowing presence of God that keeps the stars from falling on us and keeps the planets in their courses without clashing with each other, keep you, lead you, and direct you in all your life as we all forge ahead towards the creation and the realization of the new Africa. Thank you, and God bless you.